Well, as you know, with the history of New England, Marcus, that it's very rare for someone to come in and have three coaches in 3 years. You know, it's been nothing but one way of doing it and consistency, and then an inconsistency that's rare for the franchise. What's happened this year for everything to be sort of like a lightning strike and come together that you have from your perspective?
Yeah, I would say from my perspective, um, it was a lot of new faces that came into the building. You said it, it was used to, consistency and that everyone know, and knowing everyone, but we had a lot of new faces and I would say we got to know everyone. We had the four H's, that they talked about a little bit on ESPN, getting to know how people got into the game of football, their family, things that they like to do, interests, all of those things. And then also, the heartbreaks when it came down to it. So learning more about the people that surround you make you want to play harder for your brother on the field. And that person also has your back as well. So I feel like, a lot of off the field stuff helped us, build our trust when it comes down to being on the field.
What happened off the field? Can you give me some examples of that?
Oh yeah, I
Any?
would say off the field, DB wise,
Sure.
on our off days we watch film and then also eat Chick-fil-A at the same
Ah,
time. So we spend
okay.
time when it comes to doing things like that.
Burgers form
Also
or nugget
community
form?
wise,
Like what form? What form are we
no, it's
dipping sauces?
breakfast.
Okay, breakfast.
Breakfast.
Okay,
So
that's it.
yeah,
Hey,
I've brought that in
yeah, the
many times.
Chick-fil-A
okay,
breakfast, the Chick-fil-A, the
okay,
minis.
okay.
People love the minis and everything.
Good to know.
And then also community service stuff. A lot of people have different foundations that they support. And then also Donna, when it comes down to things that we do with the Pats and everything like that too, that helps out a lot. So.
How has Vrabel changed it?
I would say when it comes down to it, he's been a player in the league. So that's the one thing that I say he knows what it takes to, put in a lot of time and effort when it comes down to it. And then also, coaching wise, like the excitement, like he wants us to celebrate together. If people make plays, the first thing you do is tell you to go to the end zone and celebrate with your teammates. So that's something that we love to do and love to see him have support with that. And then also whenever we're out there at practice, like it comes down to consistency. It doesn't just end up happening on Sunday. It's through the week of the preparation, making sure that we know about every situation that comes up in the game. You love to hear that. And then also like keeping us up to the standard, making sure that we always are never complacent. That's something that we have to embrace and understanding that the hard times ends up coming with great measures because at the end of the day, like whenever we're playing the way that we need to play and everything like that, we trust in one each other and we see that it works.
Okay, and you mentioned he's not just any player either, Marcus Jones, right? The banners that you see every home game for him to basically he doesn't say it, but you know it. He helped hang half of them at least, right? So does that factor in to following what he's leading?
For, for sure, whenever you have the resume and things like that to where we want to be a part of, you got to listen to that. You know what I mean? Like I said, he understands the effort that you have to put into it, the sacrifices as well, and having that resume and knowing how to get there and everything like that is something that we love to hear from him.
Do you sometimes watch back your returns and see him running down the sideline almost stride for stride, Marcus? Do you see those moments on film sessions at all? No?
Sometimes we'll see those things, but
Okay.
most of the time, whenever I'm watching a film, I'm seeing, how I kind of set up, and then also, the guys that's blocking for me. That's the things that I kind of, look for, because
Okay.
at the end of the day, it's great to, have the score and everything, but without my guys out there blocking for me, it couldn't happen.
I like it. There's no I in Marcus or Jones here on the Rich Eisen show. That does have two eyes in it. What is it? So walk me through what it's like to, after a win, be welcomed by Mike Vrabel prior to getting back to the locker room. What is that like for you and your teammates, Marcus?
Yeah, first off, man, I would say whether it's a win or a loss, he's doing the exact same thing. So it's
Okay.
not just from the win perspective, but he understands the dedication and the sacrifices that we put into the situation of playing this game. So having his support as soon as we come up in the locker room, it means a lot because at the end of the day, he's up here early in the morning, late at night and everything. He understands, like I said, the practice, the dedication, the sacrifices that we have. So being able to have him as soon as we walk into the locker room and see the support and him, shaking everyone's hands and everything, it means a lot.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.